Hey, hey, what up, everybody? Welcome to Vlogmas Day 6. I am your host here, Army Princess. Just letting everybody come into the live stream for a few minutes, and we are going to go ahead and get started. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody joining the live. Let me go ahead and put my banners up. Go ahead. Y'all already know what to do. Drop those green hearts. And let's get it cracking. Let's get it popping. How y'all doing on this Sunday night? How are y'all doing tonight? How are you doing, Alonzo Perry? Thank you for joining the live. What is up, y'all? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me go on and do my intro. I was waiting for a few people to come into the live. So, hey, everybody. I am Army Princess, U.S. Army soldier. I've been in the military for over 10 years now, and I love to share my experiences with you all. So, last night, we had a very, what's the word? I don't know what to say. It was a productive conversation about, careers and picking jobs and picking MOSs and all of that good jazz at MEPS. So we're going to fast forward into our military career and talk about career progression. So I have a few of my day ones in here in the live stream. I appreciate y'all stopping through and stopping in. And you all said you wanted to talk about broadening assignments and career progression and all the things that you need to do to, have a successful, long-lasting career in the military. So I wanted to come on for about 30 minutes tonight and talk to you all because I do have to pack a bunch of orders tonight as well. So short story real quick before we get into the live. I am home this week on quarantine. I'm not sick. None of the family is sick, but there was an outbreak at my kids' school, and so they closed the kids' classrooms, and we are home this week on quarantine. So it has allowed me time to start a brand new series here on my YouTube channel, which is called Bossness. So I just dropped my first episode today. If anybody is interested, go ahead and check that out after this one and leave me a thumbs up over there and let me know what you think about it. It's geared toward new business owners and people that want to start a business in the military. But let's get back on track for tonight. So tonight we are going to fast forward. We've already been through MEPS and picked our job. We already had 3 options when we went to MEPS. And we've already gone through basic training with the whole COVID experience. We got to our first duty station and we arrived there and we are like, WTF. I don't know what's going on. I don't know where I am. I don't know my job. I'm just here and I'm in the right uniform at the right time. So that's how most people show up to their first duty station. But have no fear. Have no fear. I'm here to tell you that the Army in particular, I don't know about any of the other MOSs, but the Army in particular has put a program in place for when you first arrive to your new duty station. So you won't show up and be like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. You should have a sponsor. So the sponsor is somebody that's supposed to contact you before you arrive and tell you, where to come to, what to be in, all of that jazz. So you at least have a little bit of information when you show up. So you got to your duty station, your sponsor has collected you from the bus or the welcome center or wherever it is that you arrive to, and you're just going through, your military life. Most people don't realize that once you actually get into the Army, like leave basic training and actually get there, it's like regular work. Like it's like a regular life, a regular everyday job. So for me, for example, I go to work at, let's say 6:30. I go to work at 6:30. I do my pharmacy technician job all day until 3 o'clock. And at 3 o'clock, I get off of work and I go home. I can go to the mall. I can go to the movies. I could go to the grocery store. I could do whatever I want, just like what you all do now when I get out of work, as long as I'm here tomorrow when I need to be at work. Now, the kicker is the Army and my boss and my supervisor can say, you got to come back now, or you got to come back tonight, or when you think you're getting off at 3 o'clock, but really you got to stay late and do X, Y, and Z. So that's the only really difference, is you don't necessarily have a right, you know what I mean? Like have that right to be like, well, I did my shift, it's 3 o'clock, I need to go home, or I already worked today, I can't come back. That you don't have that right. But other than that, it's like your everyday life. So people, it's funny because people are like, how do you ever get to see your family, or do you get to travel, or can you go visit people? You can do whatever you want. If I could drive to Michigan and back by 6:30 the next morning, I could do that if I wanted to. But the thing you have to remember is when you are doing those things, you need to just focus. I would say the main thing when you first get to your first duty station the first year is focus on learning your job. Now, the title of this live stream is, getting promoted and things you need to do, how to get promoted in the Army. The biggest thing is you need to learn your job. You need to be competent in your job, and your supervisors and the people that work with you need to be confident in you that you know your job. Once they're confident that you know your job and you're a stand-up guy or a stand-up girl, you come to work, you show up, you're professional, you get the job done, then usually they will recommend you to go to the board. That's like the first step towards getting promoted and what's the word? Getting promoted and like growing your career. So go to the board. I encourage everybody to go to the board within, I would say, even the first 6 months. Maybe give yourself a good 6 months to get used to Army life, to get used to what's going on around you, and then start studying and go to the board. Soldier of the Month board is like easy peasy. It's just kind of like a first indication for you of what board life is like and steps towards promotion. So you can go to the board every month. It's no limit on how often you go to the board or how many times you can go to the board when it comes to Soldier of the Month board. One of my top selling lip glosses is called Soldier of the Month because it's based off of my experience going to the Soldier of the Month board when I was at my very first duty station, and it helped me get promoted. It's a very memorable thing for me. So I dedicated one of my favorite lip glosses, and it's actually a top seller, to Soldier of the Month. So I encourage everybody. Cammie has a question. Do y'all work 7 days a week, or do you get weekends off like a regular job? So that's a good question, Cammie. How do I put this? It really, like, what it really boils down to, what it really, really, really boils down to is whatever your job is. So for me, because I have to always use me as an example, y'all know I work in the hospital. I work in inpatient pharmacy. What that means is we make the IVs and we make all of the medications and deliver the medications to the floors and to the different wards for the patients that are admitted in the hospital. It's not like on Saturday and Sunday, people don't go to the ER, or people don't have babies, or people don't get hurt or have heart attacks, or whatever the case may be, and we're off on the weekend. So I work the weekend, but somebody that might be, let's say, working like optometry clinic, like an actual doctor, optometry clinic where you go get your eyes checked in the hospital, is not open on the weekends. So they wouldn't work on the weekends. They would just work their office hours, maybe 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. But for me, my job is around the clock. So you can use that for any example. Like somebody yesterday said they wanted to be a pilot in aviation. I'm sure they don't just work Monday through Friday. They may have to fly on the weekends. If you work as a radiology tech, you could work a 24-hour shift because somebody could fall and break their leg at 3 o'clock in the morning and have to come into the ER and need an x-ray. So I say all that to say it depends on your job. There's people that do admin work, that work at, front desk, that's not open on the weekend. So But what it really boils down to is that we are taught that we are soldiers 7 days a week. So at any time, leadership can call you in, no matter what job you have, call you in. There's always like work to be done on the weekends. So don't get it in your head that it's only a Monday through Friday, 5 days a week job. But for generally, it depends on your actual job that you work every day, and every place is different. So I'm at a hospital here. I'm a pharmacy technician. I could go to the next duty station and it's a small clinic that's not open on the weekends. So my schedule would change. I wouldn't have to work the weekends because there's no inpatient. It's only outpatient. So it depends on where you're stationed, what your job is, what your unit is, all of those determining factors. Same as like deployments. People ask me, what will I get deployed? That depends on where you're stationed, what your job is, what your unit is, and all of those things. But getting back to getting promoted, I encourage everybody to go to the board. That is the very first step in getting promoted and having a progressive career. Please don't be stagnant. That's the one thing that you don't want to do, is be stagnant. I see it all the time where soldiers get comfortable. Like, some people get comfortable in their rank. Some people don't want to get promoted, because the thing is, when you get promoted, it is a lot of responsibility. You are in charge of other human beings. You need to look out for other human beings. You may be responsible for, for people at work. So it's a lot of responsibility. It's not a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday job. It's a 24-hour a day job, because if your soldier, runs off the side of the road on a Saturday night because they've been drinking too much, they're going to call you first as your first line supervisor, and it's up to you to help them out. So being a soldier in general is a 24-hour job. Life with Shakitra. I think I said that right. What do you think is a good job for someone with a BA in psychology degree? I'm trying to go in as an officer, but want to pick the right job. So we kind of talked about this yesterday as far as behavioral health techs. But if you already have a degree, of course, like you just said, you want to come in as an officer. If somebody already has a degree, I would not suggest them coming in enlisted. Come in as an officer. And officers' jobs are a little bit different than enlisted jobs. And I don't know a lot about the officer's job because I'm not an officer. But of course, there is the behavioral health section and behavioral health area of the military. So you probably, if you have a degree, you could probably be a psychologist, or I know psychologists and psychiatrists are two different things, but you probably could be, a psychologist or some type of social worker or something like that works for the military in the behavioral health department. So I would look into that. A lot of the colleges at college level have college level recruiters, because they're looking for people with the degrees to do those type of officer jobs. So check at your local college for the military section and see if you can speak to somebody in reference to coming in as an officer with a psychology degree. Life with Shakita said, I didn't think about that. As Cammie said, I want to be 27 Delta. Let me know what that is down in the comments, Cammie, because I don't know all of them off the top of my head. So getting back to getting promoted, y'all, because I'm trying to walk y'all through a person's career in the military. So you got to your first duty station and you 6 months in, you're doing well. You went to the board and let's say you won Soldier of the Month board. Because Soldier of the Month board is not too bad, but it is, it's challenging, especially for somebody just joining the military. You don't know a lot. So your next step would be, when it's time, you can't just go the next month, depending on your rank. But when it's time, you go to the promotion board. Now, the promotion board is a big deal, y'all. The promotion board is big. So for the people who don't know, E1 through E4 in the military is automatic promotion. So you don't have to go to any boards to get promoted from E1 to E4. Usually people come in as E1, E2, and then all the way up to E4, it's automatic. It's different times throughout your, I don't know how to say it, different timings it takes to get promoted. But after E4, in order to get promoted to E5 to become a sergeant, you have to go to the promotion board. So the promotion board, like I was saying, is a big deal. The promotion board is put it up there. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous, girl. Don't be nervous. So the promotion board is a big deal. The promotion board is what enlisted do. The promotion board is where you will answer a bunch of questions in front of a panel of leadership. And they're looking for, your presence sitting in front of them. They're looking for the amount of knowledge that you had. That's why people study when they go to these boards. And, just your military bearing. Are you able to speak well? Are you able to speak correctly? Are you able to answer the questions correctly? Do you know the knowledge? Do you know your job? Those type of things. And then if you do well, usually people do well, then they get promoted. It doesn't happen just like easy like that, but they are eligible for promotion. I should say that they are eligible for promotion, but there's a lot of things that go into getting promoted besides just going to that board. You have to do very well on your PT test. You have to go to the range every year and shoot your weapon and qualify. You have to take civilian classes. You have to take military classes. There are certain like military educational classes that people go through to help, enhance their overall military career. All of these things help make up your military career and your experience. That's why I say once you leave basic training is easy. Like that's the easiest part of your military career. It's doing all of the second and third order effects, the things you need to do after basic training that nobody kind of talks to you about or nobody's making you do. It's up to you. You don't have to go to the promotion board. You don't have to go to the Soldier to One board. You don't have to go take these military classes or take civilian, college in the afternoons. But if you don't, you won't get promoted. So doing all those things, taking all those steps is what it takes to get promoted. So after, let's say you go to the promotion board, you're recommended for promotion, you passed the PT test, you went to the range, you did some civilian college courses in the afternoons, you went to military schools. Now you've gotten promoted. Now you are a sergeant, E5 in the military. What's next? And that's when we're going to talk about broadening assignments. So if you were not in my live yesterday, you missed a very good conversation on broadening assignments. Does anybody know what a broadening assignment is? Well, I'll let y'all ponder on that. I'm going to see what Malcolm is talking about. Congrats on your business. You out here grinding and doing your thing. Massive props. I know it's hard being active duty, having a family, and then running a business. Yes, it is. But thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the love, y'all. Like, he is right. Like having a business, doing the YouTube thing. I just love doing the YouTube thing. It's not about the money at all because I get like $100 a month from YouTube. But I just like talking to you all and informing you all and educating you all because there's so much more than basic training. But thank you, Malcolm. I appreciate it. Cammie said our drill sergeants, officers are enlisted. Drill sergeants are enlisted. That is the only type of drill sergeant you will have is enlisted. So if you want to be a drill sergeant, then you cannot be an officer. Or, yeah, you can't go officer. You have to be enlisted. Isabel says, I'm definitely going to make a purchase and support your business after this live. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, Kirsty Metz. Hey, girl. Hey. She's in all my lives. Okay, so I guess nobody can answer the question about broadening assignments. Does anybody know what a broadening assignment? Going once. While y'all in here pondering broadening assignments, please go ahead and hit the like button for your girl and give me a thumbs up. Let me go ahead. I'm recording this, y'all, too, because I'm vlogging this week as well. So I'm gonna vlog this and make sure y'all check out my vlogs too. So I asked the people, the live members, if they know what a broadening assignment is, and still yet nobody has answered my questions. Somebody just asked that, are drill sergeants enlisted? Yes, drill sergeants are enlisted. And actually, since we keep talking about drill sergeants, a drill sergeant has gone and done the broadening assignment. A broadening assignment is being a drill sergeant. That's one of them. So I never heard of broadening assignments, but I'm interested. See, this is why I do the lives. This is why I like to do stuff like this. Okay, so a broadening assignment is exactly what it is. So a regular assignment, let's talk about a regular assignment first, then we can differentiate. So a regular assignment is, you know, you go to a regular duty station and do your regular job. So for me, I'm in a regular assignment as a pharmacy technician at Fort Belvoir Hospital. You could go to Fort Hood, Texas, and be a 88 Mike, or somebody said they wanted to be a 27 Delta, which is a paralegal. So you could be a paralegal at Fort Bragg or Fort Polk or wherever the case may be. And wherever you're going and you're doing your actual job is a broadening assignment. Gamble said broadening assignments are assignments outside of your basic MOS. So yes. So right now I'm in a, I don't even think it has a name. It's just an assignment, you know, a regular assignment doing my job. But a broadening assignment is when you do something outside of your MOS or your job. So broadening assignments could be a recruiter. So y'all know that recruiters have an actual MOS, right? Like that's not their job. When they went to MEPS and basic training, they didn't say, I want to be a recruiter. They were a Quebec, they were a 88 Mike, they were a 27 Delta, they were a infantry, whatever their MOS was when they went to MEPS. But when they took that broadening assignment, they stepped outside of their MOS to be a recruiter. So all that they do, they don't work at the pharmacy or work, you know, in the optometry clinic. They only do recruiting. Same as a drill sergeant. Drill sergeants have regular MOSs. They are pharmacy technicians and 27 Deltas and everything else, but they stepped outside of their MOS to do 2 years of being a drill sergeant. So drill sergeant, recruiter, instructor. Instructor are the people that teach you in AIT. So once you pass basic training, we all know that you go to AIT and learn your job. So usually the good part of being an AIT instructor is you are your MOS. So for me, that's actually what I want to do when I leave from here. I want to go to San Antonio and teach pharmacy technician courses to all of the new soldiers that are coming in, just leaving basic training, so that they can learn to be a pharmacy technician. So if you go to like paralegal AIT, then probably your instructor is an actual paralegal assistant, but you're still not doing your actual job. You're just teaching, you're instructing. So you step outside of doing your MOS to do a different assignment, and it's broadening your career in the military because you're not just doing your normal job. You're doing something outside of your MOS. I have to start catching more lives. Thank you. Life with Shakira, you should. Army Princess is a whole vibe. Thank you. So that's why broadening assignments. I always, so when I talk to my soldiers and they just come into me from basic training in AIT, and they're like, I want to get promoted and I want to do this and I want to do that. I'm like, pump your brakes. Learn your job first. Go to the Soldier of the Month board. Go to the promotion board. And when you leave here, if you leave here as a sergeant, your next move should be a broadening assignment. Now, you can't do a broadening assignment as like a E3, E4. You have to at least be an E5. So a lot of recruiters and drill sergeants are E5. They've already went to the promotion board and got promoted, which shows that they have what's the word? Initiative, that they know their job, that they know something about the military. You know, they've been in more than a year, and that they are able to either recruit new soldiers, or they're able to be a drill sergeant, or they're able to instruct. So the reason why I tell them to do that when they first leave, if possible, depending on their rank, is because usually when you know, first few years in the military, you're not married yet, you don't have a family. Now, this is not always the case, of course, but especially for my single soldiers, whether you're male or female, I think it's great to get a broadening assignment out of the way early. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But before I get into that, go ahead, make sure y'all hit the thumbs up button, please. And go ahead and drop them green hearts. Let me see what other banner I got up here. Let me put it up here. Hit the like button for you, girl. So does anybody know why I tell them to do it after they leave, kind of like their first duty station before they have a family? Anybody know that question? The answer to that question? Go ahead and put it in the comments, y'all. I like this little interactive live. I'm liking this. Y'all been really interactive with me lately. So does anybody go ahead and put it in there? Why I tell them they should do it while they're very young in their career before they have a family. Thank you all for dropping them green hearts. I appreciate it. No takers yet? I don't have any takers. I don't have any takers. Let me go ahead and put my Instagram in here while we at it. Y'all probably already know my Instagram. But follow my business Instagram too. Okay, I'm about to spell the T. Collection. Okay, so the reason why I tell people to go when they're young in their career is because number one, there's a few reasons. Number one, when you're young, you have young people body parts. I know that sounds crazy. And we got the people in here with them mega knees. But you got young body parts. So you know what that means? That means you got a nice, strong back. You got good knees still. You don't have no wrist problems and elbow problems and shoulder problems. You still fit. So you are more apt to be able to do all of the stuff that the young folk can do. Before you get, too old and too broken up and you get a profile to where you can't run this long, go ahead and do it while you're young and get it out the way. Kirsty laughing. I gotta put her comment up here with the laughing. Y'all, when you got the mega knees, you can run. Do you know how much y'all run in basic training? Hold on, real quick. Do y'all know how much you run in basic training? Who do you think is running with these new recruits that's just coming in the military to get them in shape so that they can pass their PT test? It's the drill sergeants. You got to have good knees to do all that running. You got to have some good mega knees. You got to have good shoulders to be able to push out all them push-ups because you're teaching them how to do the push-ups properly. You can't be 10 years in the military talking about, oh, my shoulder bad. I can't do the push-ups. No, you gotta show them how to do it. When those new recruits walk into the recruiting station and they asking you all them questions and you talking about, well, my back, I threw my back out, so I can't work out with you. No. So do it while you young. Second reason, I'm cracking my own self up tonight. And I ain't even had no wine. The second reason is more than likely more than likely when you get to your first duty station, you're just not entering. Usually people enter as single soldiers and then they end up meeting somebody and then they end up liking them and giving them lusty eyes and getting married. But when you are single still, you can work those hours and you don't feel like you leaving your family behind. Because let me tell you, drill sergeant life and instructor life is not a joke. It is some long hours. Life with Shakitra is laughing. I'm glad it's helpful. So drill sergeant life and drill sergeant life, recruiter too, but drill sergeant life in particular and instructor life is very, very long hours. So for the people who have not gone through basic training yet, basic training is very, very rigorous, and basic training is no days off, basically. So you get up at probably 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. You do PT, you go through classes and go through training all day. About 8 o'clock at nighttime is personal time, shower time. You in bed by 9 o'clock and you get up and do it all again the next day. But somebody has to be with these new recruits all day long from 4:30. If you got to be in formation at 4:30, 5 o'clock, guess what time Drill Sergeant Snuffy got to get up and leave his house to come and be there with you at 4:30, 5 o'clock? That means they got to get up at 3:30. That's why I told y'all yesterday to live on base or live very close to the base. But They got to get up at 3:30, 4 o'clock to meet you out there at 4:30, and then they doing PT with you all day, and they the ones running with you with the mega knees, and they the ones training with you all day, and they the ones making sure you in bed at 9 o'clock at night. They done did they whole day, they tired too. So just think, if you had say you're a female, because they need female drill sergeants. Female, you got 2-3 kids that's in school and a husband. They ain't gonna see you all day. So do it while you are single, while you don't have commitments like kids and family and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So you can stay at work all day. It's funny because somebody just asked the question about is being in there 9 to 5 or 7 days a week. Drill sergeants work every day. You don't get days off in basic training. So you may get a few hours off on Sunday, and that's it. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. So that's the other reason why I tell these young soldiers after they come in, once you make sergeant, go ahead and get that recruiter out of the way. Go ahead and get that drill sergeant out of the way. Recruiters too. If y'all that's going to see these recruiters, they there every day. They doing all this paperwork, running y'all back and forth to MEPS all day long. It's a lot. Some of these people got families and kids. And this is another reason I get questions all the time about, being a single parent. It's going to be tough for you if you are a single parent in the military, because I just gave you the timeline of the day for a drill sergeant. So you can't say I can't be a drill sergeant because I don't have anybody to watch my 3-year-old daughter. That's why the military would like for you to be married when you join, because somebody has to watch the kids. The other reason that having a broadness assignment is so important is because once you step outside of your MOS and you do that broadening assignment for 2 to 3 years or however long, usually it's about a 2 to 3 year commitment, because that can be a lot. Like working those hours every day is a lot. The Army sees that and recognizes that and says, this person has done something within their MOS in the beginning. They've done and spent time outside of their MOS. We're going to promote them even more. So then you go higher into the next rank, into the next rank, into the next rank. So that is like your first basically 10 years in the military in a nutshell of the things that you should be doing in order to get promoted and have a prosperous life. Usually when people get to year 10, they've done all the hard part. They know their job, they done their broadening assignment, or they're about to do their broadening assignment, and they are on the downhill slide from there. When I say downhill slide, like they just kind of like, I don't want to say chilling, because not chilling at all, because the higher you get and the longer you're in the military and the higher ranking you get, it's more responsibility. So you go from, just think, you started at E1 when you went to MEPS. You went to E5 by the time you left your first duty station. You did that broadening assignment for 2 to 3 years. Now you E6, E7. Now when you go back to your MOS, because you do go back to your MOS, you can't stay a recruiter forever. You can't retire as a recruiter. You go back to being that 27 Delta or that 68 Quebec. Now you're looked at as a senior leader. You have the new soldiers, because new soldiers steady coming in the military every month, every day. You get the new privates and the new soldiers that just left basic training, and they looking up to you like, wow, you've been in a long time. You used to be a recruiter. You need to be spitting the knowledge to them and training them and mentoring them and leading them. And they don't know anything about the military because they just came in yesterday. And, it's your responsibility to make sure you take care of them and train them. So the higher you get, the more responsibility you get, because now you have all of these young kids underneath you that are looking to you to teach them and train them. So it's like a cycle. It's like a cycle. Don't the military have daycare? That is a very, very, very good question, Cammie. So to answer your question, yes, the military has daycare, but it's not 24 hours. Typically, usually the daycares on post or on base are from 6 to 6. Those are the hours, 6 in the morning to 6 at night. It's 12 hours. And like I just get laid out your schedule for if you were a drill sergeant, or even if you're in a regular unit, you got to be the PT at 5:30. If you got to be the PT at 5:30 and the CDC don't open till 6, the CDC is the Center for Disease. The Child Development Center. One base is called the Child Development Center, the CDC. If the CDC is not open until 6 o'clock, or let's say, hey, you got some stuff going on at work. You thought you was getting off at 3. You thought you was getting off at 4. You thought you was getting off at 5. No, we gotta work late tonight. Daycare closed at 6. Now, let me preface this by saying your unit does try to work with you in a regular unit, not a broadening assignment. I'm talking not to broadening assignment, something totally different. But in a regular unit like me, your leadership does try to work with you. So, I do try to work within those hours, but I still have to work nights. I still work weekends. The daycare is not open on the weekends. I still work the evening shifts where I don't get off till 10, 11 o'clock at night sometimes. And so that's why, another reason why the military does not like to let in single parents, or they don't like for you to be single parent in the military, because you have to work all the hours. I can't say, well, Private Shelley is a single mom, or Private Blake is a single dad, and the daycare closed at 6, so I'm not going to schedule him for the night shift. No, ma'am. No, sir. It does not work like that. You better have some type of child care. You better have somebody to be able to pick your kids up from daycare at 6 o'clock and collect them and feed them and give them dinner and put them to bed. Or married. They like for you to be married with a spouse that can do that as well. So it's a good question. We do have daycare, but it's not 24-hour daycare. I wish it was. That's one thing that the military, like a lot of service members, are trying to fight. Like, hey, can we have 24-hour daycare? Because our job is a 24-hour job, especially working at the hospital. People get admitted all the time to the hospital. But it costs money and resources to run a daycare 24 hours a day. Good questions. Mitchell Cole said, I don't know if I'm going to... Let me put it up big. I don't know if I'm going to have to say this or not, but do you think one day you'll be in a regular war? I don't think so. I really don't. We talked about this a few days ago in my live. Gone are the days like Vietnam when you out with your weapon through the shrubs looking with a painted face. That's not how war is now. Don't get me wrong. Still people shooting at people in some areas, but now war more than likely is cyber war. The enemy is trying to steal secrets so that they can just take us down massively. They're not trying to just pick us off with a shotgun or an M16. They are trying to steal, government secrets. They are trying to get into the computer system and see what they can find and see what they can use against us that way. That's the type of war that we are fighting now. We not like in the bushes like Vietnam, like they used to be. That's why our whole, if y'all don't remember, our uniform is changing because it changes with the time. We don't have those big, how they used to have the big green and brown patches to blend in with the greenery. We're not in that type of war anymore. But that's a good question, a very good question. I missed the last chat. Do you think one day we're going to have a nuclear war? Now that, I don't know. Don't let them get a hold of some secrets. That's what they're trying to get, some secrets for that. I hope not. Never thought of it like that. You're right. Yes, you're right. That's what they're teaching us now, and with all of this training, this cyber. That's why cyber is so big. Back in the day, we didn't have computers. We didn't have the technology that they have now. They didn't have that back in the 70s when they had the Vietnam War. So that wasn't even a threat. But now with everything being on social media and passwords, and it's one click of a button to blow up a whole, nation almost, that's the type of war we're fighting. So we need to make sure our service members are being diligent in not giving up that type of information, not spilling the beans on the classified stuff. Why are you laughing, Cammy? You laughing at me looking through the bushes? Looking through the bushes, with my rifle and my painted face? No. You don't even really hear about IEDs and people getting blown up like how they used to. Now they're trying to steal passwords so they could take us down from the inside out. I think that's what they're trying to do. What's the chances of somebody deploying straight out of basic? Oh, now that's a very good question, Dee. That one right there, the chances are, I'd say 50-50. I would say 50-50. Because it depends on a lot of things. It depends on whatever unit you're going to. If your unit there's some units that deploy all the time, like they just be in rotation, deploying all the time. And if you happen to get put in that unit, then you could possibly deploy. It's no, what's the word? I can't think of a good word, but it's no like, oh, well, you just left basic training so you don't deploy. Once you leave basic training and AIT and you get to your first duty station, you like a regular service member. They don't look at you any different. You don't get sectioned out because you just left basic training. If you get put into that unit that's deploying, bye-bye. See you in a year. You're going to deploy. What? You're probably more than likely be doing your MOS. It's the bushes for me. Look, when I come on tomorrow, I'm going to be like this. Y'all going to know what I'm talking about. It's the bushes for me. Kirsty, you is a mess, girl. Y'all, we at 40 minutes. I appreciate y'all rocking with me all this time. This time went by fast today. What do y'all want to talk about tomorrow? So tomorrow, I'm trying to bring Babe Gabe on because we're supposed to be having us a date night tomorrow. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do a live tomorrow because we have a date night. He was like, I'll do it with you. So y'all got to have some good topics for tomorrow. Tomorrow we got to have some good topics. But when I come on, I'm going to come on like this, Kirsty. If you were in 60 at Quebec, what MOS would you have chosen? That is a very good question. I think about that all the time. So if I wasn't a 68 Quebec, I think I would have done, I forget the number. I always forget it. I want to say, don't even give me the lying. It's a public affairs specialist. So they kind of do like this type of stuff. They do the social media stuff. They take the pictures. I think it's like something. Don't even give me the line. Y'all look it up and let me know what a public affairs specialist is. Or they call it combat cameraman. But that's the job that I want. Take pictures, do the social media, like do all of the graphics. I think that would be such a cool job. They're more like news reporters, I guess. Kind of like, that's like a subset of their job. If you are basic training, will you be deployed like you haven't even graduated yet? No, they will not touch you in basic training. You can't do any of that in basic training. No, you don't. That happens once you get to your unit. Because you have to be, if you're in basic training, you don't even know what's going on. Like you haven't even really been in the military yet. You haven't completed your training. So you have to complete all of your basic training, all of your schooling in AIT, because when you deploy, you're doing your actual MOS, your job. And if you haven't even got to AIT yet, you don't even know what you're doing. You're no help to them in a deployment. Do 68 Golfs have a 24-hour job? I want to say a 68 Golf is either dental or admin. Let me know. Dental or admin, but let me know what that job is because I don't know off the top of my head, but I think it's one of them two. Yes, girl. Yes, Kirsty. I can see you in public affairs. Yes, that's exactly what I want to do. I wish I could have did it, but it's too late for me now. Oh, y'all should have talked about marriage and children and how y'all met. So I actually have a whole video on my channel on how we met, and marriage in the military is actually called a marriage in the military playlist that I have. But if y'all want to, we can talk about it tomorrow. I'll bring them on tomorrow. At Cami, a do a military love story. Oh yeah, patient admin. See, I knew it. I knew it was either 68. I think dental is 68 Echo. 68 Echo or 68 Golf is patient admin. And yes, so that is a great question, Shavana. Patient admin, I never thought that it was a 24-hour job until I got to where I am now. So it depends on where you are. If you're just now tuning in, we talked about you know, the day, what's the word? We talked about like what the work day would look like for somebody. And I gave the example of like me and my job, or somebody that's a radiology tech. But for patient admin, it depends on where you work as well. So here I'm at a hospital, and patient admin is just like what it sounds. Patients that get admitted to the hospital, they do all the paperwork and all of that stuff for the patients that get admitted. Patients get admitted 24 hours a day in a hospital. People come in and have their babies at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. People break their legs at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. And so here it is a 24-hour job, because that technician has to admit them to the hospital so that I can see them in the system and give them their medicine. So if the patient admin is not there to admit them, I cannot pull them up into the system and give them their medicine. But if you go to a small clinic, like all the places that I've been before here, where it's not a hospital, it's a clinic, and they close at 5 in the afternoon, then it's not 24 hours. So it depends on where you go and where you get stationed. But I like the patient admins. So patient admins, they call them PAD. Patient admin or PAD. And their motto is PAD to the bone. And all of the PAD people that I have known, met, have been so cool. I love my PAD peeps, because we work very directly with PAD. Like I said, they put them in the system and we pull them up so we can see them. What does a 42 alpha consist of? So that's a very good question. 42 alpha do a whole lot, like a whole lot of everything. To basically, they're like the human resources, the paperwork people that help us, that help everybody else in the military function through our records. So the military, like your military career, your military, everything you do is inputted in the system through records. So like when I gave the example about going to the board and the panel gives you a yes, you good for promotion. They enter that information in. Yes, this person did very well on the board. They are recommended for promotion. Boom, you come down for promotion and you get promoted. But there's paperwork that goes with that. PAD does all that. PAD does a whole lot. I'm not even going to get into what PAD does, because I don't know the ins and outs, because I'm not PAD. Not PAD. 42 Alpha, I'm sorry. For human resources tech specialists or technicians do, but they do a whole lot when it comes to the paperwork side of the military. Like everything, that's just in real life. Everything is through paperwork. You pay your bills through paperwork. You do everything through paperwork. You have to fill out forms for everything. And PAD is the people that make the military run when it comes to all the paperwork that we have to do. And they have a very, very, very important job. For PAD, I would say you need to be organized. Please make sure you organize if you think about doing that, because you don't want to be messing nobody's stuff up. They pay, they promotion, they money to well, that's more finance, but still, like money, and they send up the paperwork up to finance. They do a whole lot. Kirsty said, this is fun. Don't want it to end. I know, y'all, but we almost at an hour. That went by so fast. Is the promotion process the same with Army Reserve and National Guard? That's a good question. That question I cannot really answer for you. I really, really, truly, I have no clue. I don't know. I want to say no, but I have no clue. I think that I seem like people in the Reserve and National Guard get promoted very fast, like faster. But I don't know. That's a good question. I'm going to have to find out about that one. That's a good one. You're welcome, Shavana. All right. So does anybody else have any questions? Make sure y'all go ahead and hit the like button and the thumbs up for your girl. And nobody said what they wanted to talk. Well, we did say what we were going to talk about tomorrow. Dual military love. I got some stories for y'all about dual military love. But I'm so happy that you all are enjoying this series so far, because I really, really debated on if I wanted to continue, because I don't have Desire in my live tonight, but Desire usually be in my live every single night, Desire and Kathleen. And there was literally one night, I ain't gonna blame y'all. I'm not even gonna blame y'all, because I'm gonna charge it to y'all heart, to y'all head and not y'all heart, that y'all wasn't in the live one day this week. And I literally had one person in my live, which was Desire, and she held it down for all of the 5 minutes that I was there, because I was like, well, I guess nobody wants to show up tonight. I guess nobody likes these lives. On your recent reenlistment contract, do you have to go reserve when you leave still? What do you mean? Recent reenlistment contract, do you have to go reserve when you leave? What do you mean, Kirsty? When I leave, where am I going? Like when I go to my next duty station? When I leave the military? What do you mean, girl? But yes, I had one person in my life. And y'all can, so let me share this with you all. Y'all are more than welcome to call into the live. Like people, you know how I usually have my live and I have like a whole panel of people. You can be in the live too. So I'm not just sitting here talking to myself for 49 minutes and 32 seconds. I could talk to somebody else. I mean, I am talking to y'all because I'm answering the questions that y'all giving me, but you all can like actually talk to me and actually ask me questions. So like after your contract is up, is your recent reenlistment contract, do you have to go reserve when you leave? I think I know what you mean. I think you talking about like, so after you get out, they tell you still reserve for like 8 years. I think it depends. For me, no. So it depends on how long you are in before you get out. So for me, I'm past that threshold. Have been in for 13 years. So no, but I think it's like if you're less than like 8 or 10 years, then you may still have to do that reserve time. So for the people who may not know what she's talking about, when you sign up for your initial contract, they said like when you get out, you still owe like 8 years of reserve time. But I think like the longer you stay in, like the less of that time kind of just falls off and you don't owe it anymore because you've been in longer than you would have to owe, if that makes any sense. If anybody else know to answer that question, because I know I got military people in here, let me know. How is the Arabic government getting information for us? Because people spill the beans, people give it away. You know, we have a whole class on I don't know like the official name of what it is that would be like a question for my husband with the intelligence stuff. But like there's people that, what's that famous person's name that like switch sides? Y'all know who I'm talking about. The guy that like he gave a bunch of stuff away and then he wanted like immunity over in another country. Y'all know who I'm talking about. They got a whole what is his name? Brandon Channing Tatum, not Channing Tatum. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The guy Manning. Anyway, you have people that like down on their luck, people that get mad at the military, people that owe a lot of money, and them type of people, like they reach out to you, like, you know, people from over there, they'll reach out to you if they know that they could get something from you. They don't just reach out to everybody. But I'm just saying, like people that work in like high places, like at the Pentagon and stuff like that, and they know they can get something. You might have somebody reach out to you like, hey, I know you in debt, and I'll give you $100,000 if you give me these secrets. And you got some wishy-washy soldiers that'll take the bait. And then that's how stuff happens. So, you know, like they stress classified and, you know, doing stuff, making sure if stuff is... Kirsty, you know what I'm trying to say. Channing Tatum. What happened to him? I ain't heard from him since the little vampire movies. But anyway... people give it away in a nutshell, Cammie. People just have loose lips and give stuff away when they ain't supposed to. All right, y'all. I guess I'm getting tired. I done called the man Channing Tatum. Y'all know who I'm talking about. So if it's nothing else, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this live. I had fun with y'all. It's been a whole 53 minutes we've been on here chatting and talking it up. We talked about a lot too, but I hope y'all understand the whole process of like a promotion and things that you need to do in like the steps that you need to take to get promoted throughout your career and have a successful career. Don't be one of those soldiers that don't want to get promoted or don't have initiative and don't do what they need to do to get promoted and have a successful career. And then they get mad and they just talk about how bad the military is because they didn't do their part. Can we talk about JAG tomorrow or sometime? I might have to get some information on JAG because I don't know pretty much anything about JAG. I just found out like in the last few years that was the MOS. That's done because they could still blow them up too. That's true. True. But yeah, make sure once you get in, once you pass basic training, your career is in your hands. And don't do what I did, because I said I wasn't going to stay in long and I was only going to do my initial 4 years, and I didn't go to the board and do all of that stuff. And then I was like behind that 10-year, that 10-year that 10-year career curve that I talked about, all the stuff you should do within the first 10 years. Yeah, I was behind. So, and I have not done a broadening assignment yet. I'm trying to do that when I leave here, and I'm already 13 years in. So please, please, please do what you need to do early. That's why I like these videos, and I started talking about this to help people, because I don't want you all to be in a situation that I'm in, because I'm behind the power curve, y'all. All right, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and end this live. I will see you tomorrow, Kirsty. Talk to y'all later.